earlier. You must have read these books.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I had the book of. Ma'am, I had the book of Manjeer Ghosh by Kalyani Publication.
Not this NCERT?
No, ma'am, not the NCERT books.
So today we are beginning our third chapter, that is understanding social institutions. Okay, so please see the quick review of NCERT chapters. It is something like, download it, Reza, and others also. It is available for on internet, NCERT, 11th class, Sociology. Okay. So here we have to simply we have first of all, we have discussed that how and what sociology demands, what is sociology seeking, how it is different from individual explanation to we are understanding it, sociology and social phenomenon and behavior at organizational level. Different groups are there and they view how they view their society differently. So it is being first of all, that's the first important factor. And then also we are understanding the social interaction process. This is what we have learned from chapter 1, that when we understand social phenomenon and behavior around us in the environment, which makes us society, which makes our society, we have to understand it from a scientific manner. So when I'm saying scientific manner, that there has to be some basis for that. Okay, if we are understanding any customs, traditions, faith, beliefs, anything that can and that has to be science oriented. We cannot just simply say on our prejudices, on our thinking. It has to be from science, from rationality. That can be proved. If we are making any theory, that's mean that we can prove that. There has to be some investigation. So this is very simple. Whenever we say that sociology is a scientific study, it is very simple that whatsoever we are understanding, we are not understanding all out of our superstitious beliefs or because we think something like that, that's why we are thinking on that. So it is not at all like that. Okay, if we are understanding institutions like family, marriage, politics, kinship, if any institutions, we are understanding in it in which manner? In with respect to science. Okay, so this is what we have learned, and then different methods, and then how we conduct research, and then the second topic which we on the second chapter, which was about basic concepts, that how are different concepts, why do we need concept first of all. Like any disciplines, any academic, they have certain terms and terminology which defines concept and which actually makes any discipline to understand in a better and in a comprehensive manner. So that's why we have read different groups. We have read social stratifications. We have read what is caste, what is slavery, what is gender division. We have understood about primary groups, secondary groups, peer groups. What are the groups? Okay, and now we are understanding a very important chapter, that is social institutions. So what is social institution? Many sociologists have explained sociology as an interaction between social actors and social institutions. That is why it is very important. Let me just explain you this. As I said, that many of the thinkers, many of the sociologists have explained sociology and they have focused on in the interaction And when I'm saying interaction, it is not the formal conversation which we do. Interaction of social actors or social groups. Interaction of social groups with different social institutions. Guys, you have to buy a book, okay, of sociology. That is Eston. It will be more than enough. And along with my notes and PPTs. Okay, this is a book, S. Chan, for sociology, principles of sociology, something like that. It is there. Okay, Shibu. Yeah, it is there, both parts in that book. Okay, Shibu. So first of all, we have to understand that how social institutions existed. This is thing we need to understand that, okay, if we say that marriage is a institution, family is a institution, religion is a institution, we need to understand that all this institution actually is being created by different social groups. Okay, so there has to be universalization. Wait. So it is actually different groups, and we know that, you know, human being has some basic characteristics. They all are social animal. They live together, okay, for their basic survival. So let's just say how economical institution has been established, the way we are working. Okay, so we are mutually interdependent on each other. So basically we are interdependent on each other. Okay, so when we were hunting and gatherers, we were dependent on each other for hunting. We cannot do it one way. Then we become pastoralists, agriculturalists. So slowly, gradually, we have started doing things together. Okay, and while we are, of course, while we are doing things together, and it is a way of doing, which with the passage of time, it will evolve, of course. It will get evolved, and from one generation to another generation it will move. But then what we have done, we have created our institution by doing similar action again and again, particularly to that period of time. Okay, so we have created, let's just say, economy as an institution. So when we were hunting and gatherer, so we used to hunting and gather together. So there must be some mechanism. Hunting hoga, okay. There has to be some tools. We know how stone tools have evolved. Then there has to be fire, okay. And then there has to be a division of labor, Okay, although hunting and gathering differentiation was too less, everyone was doing same sort of work, but we have created that. Okay, is this clear? Reza, Shibu, we have created that. For example, now let's just say marriage. So what, when we become adult or when we have the sexual urge, we know that we want to reproduce. Okay, so we want to reproduce, we have to live. So in order to have a companionship or to have a reproduction, to have a children, what we have done, we have create set of rituals and practices. And this ritual and practices actually is telling that whom we can marry and whom we cannot marry. So this process which says जिसको हम शादी कर सकते हैं, जिससे हम शादी नहीं कर सकते, it is incest taboo. In fact, anthropology says that primitive culture, everything actually established because of incest taboo. So actually culture, if we understand, culture is a particular way of doing things repetitively. Okay, so when we are doing, now we want to reproduce children, but then there has to be some ideology behind it. We are thinking and then doing something. Okay, and then only we can marry someone, otherwise we'll not marry. We cannot marry. So it was there because human beings are a rational thinking being. Always they have been rational thinking being. So it was, so when we were living in a primitive society, a father cannot, when a father was, it was being practices also where father was marrying his daughter, or mother is marrying her son. So, but then that was bringing chaos. It was bringing conflict in status and roles. So father, who was earlier father, now become a husband. Now husband, earlier he was a son, now he's acting like son. So it was bringing, it was, and then there was a problem between father and son now, because they both married to the mother. So there was a chaos. So incest taboo is something which says that, okay, there has to be rules and regulations. Even in the economic structure, economic institution, when we were doing hunting and gathering, there was some rules and regulation which were happening, and it was deciding the economical factor. And then with marriage, it starts with the family. That now the child which is born out of that wedlock, it belongs to this couple, and they are the responsible to have socialization. So now we have created marriage. So it is created by social groups only at different times and different geographical location. So marriage is there, but it is diverse because human species are diverse. We are different according to our geographical location. Economy is there, but economy, the way it is being happening, it's there. Different. Family is different. Some in some places we have joint families, some places we have rural settings. So can you understand this? So whatsoever, and the religion. So, and every institution has some goals. So for economy, what is the goal? So that we can survive, we can have our food. So everyone is, the economy has, again, economy as a social institution will have different parts. Okay, so hunting and gathering, means of reproduction, production, how we are, like, from hunting and gathering we have become pastoralist now. Now we are we have become horticulturalists. So now we have become herders. So now what has happened? Possession has started. Now people, besides collecting food and eating, they got indulged into some other activities like making leathers, okay, or like doing something so that like animals can be domesticated better. So now people, are you understanding this point, Shibu and Reza? Shibu and Reza. Shibu and Reza. Do you understand this point? We are evolving. So as religion is evolving, so as marriage is evolving. So this is particular we need to understand when we are discussing social institutions. So first important point is that this is being created. It is us who has constructed these institutions to because we have different basic needs. Human beings are always surrounded with different basic needs and it has to be fulfilled. तो हमने इकोनॉमी क्रिएट करा सो दैट हमारा इकोनॉमिकल नीड्स फुलफिल हो. तो जब हम हंटर एंड गैदरर थे तो हमने हंटिंग करा और आसपास जो हमारा फूड अवेलेबल था गैदरिंग करके हमने खाया पिया, बट वी हैव नेवर स्टोर्ड. सो सोशल डिफरेंशिएशन बिल्कुल लेस था हंटिंग एंड गैदरिंग में, बट वी बिकम पेस्टोरलिस्ट. अब हम एनिमल्स को डोमेस्टिकेट करने लगे, तो जिसके पास जितने एनिमल्स है वो उसको पास उतना वेल्थ है. एंड देन वी हैव बिकम हॉर्टिकल्चरिस्ट. अब जिसके पास जितनी खेत है, यू नो, बिकॉज नाउ वी आर ग्रोइंग फ्रूट, तो कहीं ना कहीं पोजिशन स्टार्ट हो गया एंड पीपल वर इन्वॉल्व इनटू सम अदर सॉर्ट ऑफ स्किल्स. So the first social differentiation which started during this phase, and then we become agriculturalist. So agriculturalist के साथ क्या pastoralist और horticulture में हमें positions मिले. When we become agriculture, we have surplus. अब granaries आने लगे, हम food को store करने लगे. And then barter system also come. Economy में barter system also come. तो आप मुझे grain दो, तो मैं आपको wheat दे रहा हूँ, right? Then we are having rice, you give me potatoes, so barter system got exchanged. So this is the way society is evolving. And then we become industrial society, and with the industrial society what had happened, there was a rapid changes and there is a large scale production. Now with industrial society, with industrial economy, kuch hi log can produce food for entire world. And then we have come to post-industrial technological information age. So now we are in a global age. So as everything is evolving, economy is evolving, so marriage is also evolving. Marriage which was there in the primitive culture or in the tribal culture, it is not same today. In today's time, family has also been changed the meaning. As an institution, religion is also changing its meaning. So all the social institutions have been created at particular period of time. So time and space means a lot when we are discussing social institutions. Often I have seen that sociologists and students of sociology and anthropology, they are not clear with the social institutions. You need to understand they are the structures. Okay, this social institution gives the structures to a society. How our Indian society is, it will be decided by how we practice religion. Our economy is also decided by that. How our ideology is. We know that we are spiritual country. So we have mixed economy. Religion plays an important role and everything. So now, what is our social life? We have diversities. So entire on the land of India, we can see too many ethnic groups. Our polity. Can you see that in our political institution, we have a reservation for caste-based thing. Reservation on the basis of something coming out of religious belief. So every part is interrelated and it will be according to geographical location. And place. You can say geographical place or location and the time. Which time we are. I hope this is clear. Social institution is clear to all of you. Now read it from NCERT. Is this clear, both of you? Please let me know. All of you, please do let me know. Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Shibu? Okay. So now read it from your NCERT. It's very important. I told you that you have to understand that how actually individual or social groups they participate in society, how interaction happens. So social institutions help us to understand interactions in the society. So individual occupies a place or location in a society and each one of has its status and role, but these are not simply we as individual, we choose, it is there, and we are like an actor in which we are playing. Okay, so they are not like a roles of film. They are social institutions that constraints and control, punish and reward. They are macro social institutions, macro like economy, social, politics, and we have micro like family. Okay, so for instance, to have marriage, we have different rules and regulations, and that operates at both level, macro and micro level. Okay, to society put controls by these rules and regulation. If you are just marrying and producing a child and you're not giving a responsibility, you're not taking care of that child which is born out of that wedlock, then there are different laws. Family also try to put a control over you by different things. You need to earn, you need to get civilized. Why we put too much of knowledge? Why we ask people to study? Because society wants stability. So all these institutions want everyone to fit together in a world where we all are functioning. Okay. So these social institutions, social anthropology studies them, and we have brief idea what are social institutions like family, marriage, kinship, politics, economics, religion, and education. Is this clear? So institution is something that works according to rules and regulation. It has some sub parts which functions in that ways, and it has some operation, rules, goals, and an institution can also be viewed as an end itself. It is just not something के इसका कोई पर्पस है, रिलीजन का कोई पर्पस है. रिलीजन अपने आप में एक पर्पस है. रिलीजन हमें सूट करता है जब भी हम किसी परेशानी में होते हैं, हमें जब कोई जो आंसर नहीं मिल रहा होता, तो रिलीजन हेल्प्स अस इन दैट वेज. Okay, so please do read this. I hope social institutions now is clear to you. So whenever we will be living and understanding these things, it will have more understanding to you. Now we have to see this social institution from sociological angle. So we know how functionalists would see social institutions, conflict will see how stratification or social control we have. Okay. Now, for example, it says here, if you see in this paragraph, what is functionalist actually view and understand social institution? They say it is a complex set of social norms, beliefs, values, and roles that arise in response to the need of society. We need these institutions to satisfy our needs, and we have formal and informal social institutions, and these are very important to fix the problems, and we are working together as a to functioning of a whole. तो रिलीजन, फैमिली, ये सब हमें जोड़ता है, सोशल इंटीग्रेशन लेके आता है. ये फंक्शनलिस्ट का अप्रोच है. फंक्शनलिस्ट इस तरीके से इन सोशल इंस्टीट्यूशंस को देखते हैं. हाउएवर अगर हम कॉन्फ्लिक्ट व्यू को देखें तो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट का दूसरा व्यू पॉइंट है. दे से दैट दिस सोशल इंस्टीट्यूशन, चाहे वो फैमिली हो, रिलीजन हो, पॉलिटिक्स हो, इकोनॉमिक्स हो, एजुकेशन हो, ये डोमिनेट करता है डोमिनेंट सेक्शन ऑफ सोसाइटी. जो भी पावरफुल है वो ही लोग इनको क्रिएट करते हैं, चाहे वो क्लास का हो, कास्ट का हो, ट्राइब का हो, जेंडर को. तो द डोमिनेंट सोशल सेक्शन जो भी, और द डोमिनेंट सोशल सेक्शन कौन है? जो कि इकोनॉमिकली पावरफुल है, जो कि अमीर सेक्शन है. ओके, सो उनके हिसाब से इकोनॉमिकली जो भी पावरफुल है वो ही सारे पॉलिटिक्स हो, इकोनॉमिक्स हो, इन सबको वो रूल करते हैं. And this is very different from a general needs of a society. So they say जो भी एक rich class है, जिसके पास भी कैपिटल है, प्राइवेट प्रॉपर्टी है, वो ही रिलीजन भी बनाते हैं, वो फैमिली भी क्रिएट करते हैं. आई मीन इट इज ओनली फॉर सो दैट फैमिली भी ऐसी ही रहेगी जो कि उनको हेल्प करे. ओके, सो दिस इज वी विल रीड फर्दर. ओके, for example, if you see that How does the family constant well provide opportunities for men and women? Okay, so society has social stratification, has different opportunities for different individuals. Okay, so family as a social institution, if we'll read it, we will see that it has different notion to different class. Okay, so this is what we have to understand in this chapter. So now if we'll see family, marriage and kinship. अब आप देखोगे it is very natural to see it as a family. So everyone will see that family, marriage, kinship all together. But these are a social institution which is different. Family is different, marriage is different, kinship is different. Okay? And they have done across so many cultural studies to show that how family, marriage, kinship are important in all society, yet they are different according to different societies. Marriage is universal, but it is diverse. Family is universal, but it is diverse. Kinship is there, but it is diverse. And it is actually linked with other social institutions like the economy, polity, cultural, education. If we'll see the family life in any religious community, it will be according to the religious instruction. For instance, in Muslim family, you see how their family and the day-to-day practices is influenced by the religion. And if you see the China, that politics decide too many things. They have come up with one child policy. So family is sometimes dictated by government intervention also. So the type of economy you have, it will also decide the kind of family you have. So if this is functionalist perspective, so for functionalism, it says that family is very important task and it contributes to society. It helps us to fulfill the basic needs and it helps to perpetuate social order. This is what functional perspective argue. And that modern industrial societies function best if women look after the family and men earn in a family livelihood. And this suggests that families need not become nuclear in an industrial pattern of economy, but example shows how experiences of one society cannot, see, the experiences which happen in the European society, because it was industrial economy. But in agricultural economy, we need more hands to work on the farms. So it was joint family system. Nuclear family is still, of course, there in Indian society as well. But if you see in agricultural society, you will see the family is not nuclear. So it is, people say that with industrial revolution and industrialization, family got disintegrated. That's true up to some extent. But then again, it depends. Okay, that what type of economy one other country has. Okay, is this clear? So this is an example which is here given. Simple, you just need to understand that functionalist view that family is very important. It brings people together. And then what is happening? It is like, it satisfying needs of a society. This is what you need to understand here. Please do read all the books in detail. I'm just going to tell you superficial and overview about this. So now we can say that how there is a variation in family forms. In India, we have seen that now a shift from nuclear family to joint families has been there. We have already seen the questions how common sense and impression is too different. Now that nuclear, we know that it has always existed in India. And now we have a sociologist, A.M. Shah, that remarked that in post-independent India, the joint family has steadily increased. Why? If post-independence was a time where industrialization was at its peak. So it got increased because of the factors, life expectancy in India, according to him. People, because of better facilities, people lived more. And then elderly people were with the younger children. Okay. parents started living more, and then because health facility got improved, so we can see that joint family systems were prevalent in during post-independent India. It's a broad generalization, but we have to understand sociological perspective, and we cannot just simply understand all this thing again a common sense thing. So common sense said that industrial revolution हुआ है, तो from joint family to nuclear family. But now if you see in the Indian context, post-independence time, now elderly people are more living with young people. And also this, please read this paragraph again. And now it's like, talk about that rule of residence. Families also talk about rule of residence. For example, some are matrilocal. Matrilocal means that the family will live near the mother's house and family customs, while others are patrilocal, where that family has to live with the father's family. So matrilocal and patrilocal. So families are also very different. And there will be some families where the newly couples, stays while the woman's parents, and then the second that the couple lives is the man's parents. So they are different family. They are patriarchal family where father rules. There's a matriarchal family where mother rules. There's matrilineal societies. Okay, and there will be a patriarchal societies. Is this clear? So it's just showing that yes, family existing, but it is different from place to place. And then finally, we see that families are linked to the social spheres and family changes. Of course, when we see the family, it is distinct and separate from other spheres. The household structure norms are closely linked to the rest of society. An interesting example is it is talk about German unification. So post unification period in 1990, what had happened? There was a decline in marriage in Germany. This is what they have given an example. So let's read what they have said. Because the new German state withdraw all the protection and welfare schemes. So government ने जब welfare schemes वगैरह निकाल दी तो decline नहीं हो गया family system में. And before that there was a unification factor. So with the growing sense of economic insecurity, people started postponing or refusing to marry. Even this is happening today. So family and kinship also are subject to change and transformation due to macroeconomic process, but the direction of change need not always be similar for all countries and regions. Okay, so social change is happening in macro level, but it is impacting at the micro level also. Is this clear? Then we all know how family is gendered, different roles for females, different roles for males. And now let's see the institution of marriage. We know that marriage exists in all the societies, but it is different. So here marriage has been discussed. We know there is a monogamous marriage. There is a polygamy marriage, monogamous, like between one male and other female, or between two males or two females. And then the polyandry marriage, like polygamous. So marriage, we have different types of marriage. हम इसको बहुत डिटेल में पढ़ेंगे. So monogamy है, polygamy है. Monogamy restricts the individual to have one spouse at a time. Under this system, at any given time, a man can have only one wife or a woman can have only one husband. And nowadays, two husbands, like male gay marriages or lesbian marriages, it is also coming under monogamous. In some societies, individuals are permitted to marry again, often on the death of the first spouse or divorce, but they cannot have more than one spouse at the same time. So there is a monogamous marriage. It's termed as serial monogamy. So अभी अगर husband जिंदा है या wife जिंदा है तो अभी आप शादी नहीं कर सकते. If they die, then you can marry again. Okay. And then we have this Hindu's widow marriage, and then we have polygamy. It's polygamy means donates marriage to more than one mate at one time and takes from either polygyny. Polygyny means one husband, two wives, or polyandry, where one wife, two more husbands. Okay, so polyandry actually happens where economical conditions are very weak and harsh. So they just want one females ताकि property पे disputes ना हो. Then matter of arranging marriage rules and perspectives. So we have endogamy, exogamy. Endogamy within group आप शादी करो, exogamy there is no restriction. आप अपने गोत्रा से और अपने आप बाहर भी आप शादी कर सकते हो. So it's just simply showing, if you see that it's simple, that there are different institutions, there are some basic concepts for family, kinship and marriage. We need to see that family is actually a person's directly linked to the kin connections. ये हमारे खानदान का है. So kinship is like with descent. Descent is lineage, like that it is a blood type. And then kinship is happening in a two way. एक तो आपका blood relationship होता है, that you have a blood relationship with your husband, with your father, mother and sister, and then it is alliance. Alliance means marriage, by marriage. Okay, so kinship involves two ways, either descent by blood and by alliance. This is more of anthropology, and this is what I was just today showing to anthropology or sociological in the batch 1 of sociology, that how you need to understand that there was a particular question on kinship. And in sociology, nowhere in the market books or the people, they don't focus on kinship too much. But kinship culture is very, very, very fundamental to have a proper understanding in sociology. Okay. So when we would be dealing it very precisely. So I think I have started with work and economic life. So please do read all this. So modern forms of work and division of labor, it is here. We know that how in a pretty modern forms of society, most people work in the field and care. So this is what the way I've showed the evolution. Okay. And then we know that how work has been passed. Earlier, the definition of work and the picture of work was different, and now it is very different. Of course, politics is also another institution. It is concerned with the distribution of power. So पहले की सोसाइटी में जो इन हंटिंग एंड गैदरिंग सोसाइटी, जो भी इकोनॉमिकली ज्यादा अच्छे से हंटिंग और गैदर कर सकता था और सीनियर होता था, उसको एक पॉलिटिकल एफिलिएशन मिलती थी, दैट इज नोन एज बिग ब्रदर or chief of that group. In tribes they are called as chieftain or big brothers. Okay, and then slowly gradually those who are the elders and the experience, they had the political, or they have the power, and then slowly it emerged from then it goes to those who holds the land, agriculture. Then we know that feudal and lords come up, and then we know that how monarch comes. So again, the power is also being evolved, and it is very important and critical to understand political institution, because it tells about power and authority. So with power, authority comes. So if I'll define what is power, power is an ability to exercise one will on others without their will or consent. तो अगर मैं पावरफुल तब हूं जब मैं आपके ऊपर अपने will को exert कर सकती हूँ, and with power I have certain authority. So like if I'm living in this house as a single parent, I have a power, and now I can exert my will on other members of the society. Similarly, it happens in the primitive and in other culture also. Okay, authority, it's actually comes with the status, right? And authority, there are different types of authority according to Max Weber. So we have traditional authority, which is there. according to the culture, you are elder. So now traditionally it is being said that whosoever will be elder, they have the authority, and since they have the authority, we will listen to him. Then we have a, like, you know, we have a modern authority, we have a charismatic authority. Some people has charisma, aura, which actually attracts people and people wants to follow them. And then we have a bureaucratic authority or modern authority. But then we have to understand that how power is being carried out. Nowadays, those who have the knowledge, they are the powerful. Okay? So how Marxist has viewed the power? For him, it was a class conscious, class struggle. So those who owns the means of production, for Marxist, it was a powerful. Okay? And for Max Weber, it says that power comes out different ways in different class. It's middle class also who has the power. Sometimes talents also bring power. Functionalist says that power is actually it. We need to understand that, okay, if there is inequality, if there's some people are powerful, we need to understand that why they are powerful. They must be doing some work which is not being done by others. Okay, so in this way we need to understand all this in a very, very, very powerful, in a very systematic manner. So please do read this. And what about stateless society, which does not have states? So here also power happens, but it is on, we can say it is not like you know, empirical study. It is like, you know, the way we study in the tribal culture. Okay. So here power comes out of kinship, marriage, residence, ceremonies and all. So it is, modern state has a fixed structure and a formal procedure, but in a stateless societies, power also comes, but it doesn't have a fixed structure. And now the concept of the state, we should know what is state. State exists where there is a political apparatus of government, institution like a parliament or congress. So it gives us, it will have some territory that, okay, this belongs to India, this belongs to America and all that. And there will be some government authority, but and it has some legal system. So this is the conception of the state. Earlier society was stateless society. It was a tribes and band. And then slowly, gradually, it became a state society. State means modern society. Okay? Is this clear? Because earlier there was no boundaries defined. When we were tribals, there were no boundary. It was clan, tribes, vendor. Okay? Agriculture. So gradually, if I'll talk about in the Indian context, when the Mahajana Padas come up, then the state formation come. Okay? There's a 16th kingdom. This is this place, and then from their expedition also come up. Is this clear? I hope it is getting clear to all of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Shivu, to you. So please read all this. Please read all this. Sociology is very much interested in, like, you know, understanding the broader concept of power, not just the formal apparatus of government. How power is being exercised between different parties or between different class or cultures. Okay, so this is what we have to understand. So third chapter is all about this, the different institution, and then the religion. I have already discussed the religion with you, how people have come up and explained sociology, like, you know, religion to us. And then it is all, I mean, I think it is very important for all of you to read and have this fundamental reading, because it is all giving and will help you when we will read our UPSC syllabus. I can see this. Everything, you know, it will be really very easy for you. But the thing is that I have to start the chapters, and you know, you have to read all this on your own. Okay? And make the notes out of it. Shivu, are you making the complete notes? And Reza, have you started? Reza, have you started?
Yes, ma'am. I have started from yesterday. Like yesterday.
Okay, so how many first chapter have you started? First, second?
Ma'am, the first note which I have made is on about Ma'am, peer groups. From peer groups, I've started, ma'am.
Okay, so
That
that
is
was
important.
notes. That was your
Yes, ma'am.
notes. And
Yes,
Shibu,
ma'am.
you? I mean, see, this much of time we can take it. We have to have a quick review that what is there, because all this thing we are going to read extensively in our in when we will be reading our sociology, the UPSC ka syllabus. Okay, so but all this thing you have to have good understanding and clarity on this. Okay, I hope this is being clear to you, all of you, like, how religion as an institution established, what are the roles. We need to understand that, see, all these social institutions, whatsoever we have just read, it actually helps us to give a structure. सोसाइटी में ये सारी चीज होंगे, आपको रिलीजन भी दिखेगा, आपको मैरिज भी दिखेगा, आपको फैमिली भी दिखेगा, आपको इकोनॉमिक भी दिखेगा, पावर भी दिखेगा, ओके, पॉलिटिक्स भी दिखेगी, एजुकेशन सिस्टम भी दिखेगा. तो ये सारी चीजें हर सोसाइटी में एग्जिस्ट करेंगी. अब इकोनॉमी, रिलीजन, ये सब, व्हाई वी आर इंटरेस्टेड इन ट्राइब्स. एंथ्रोपोलॉजी और सोशियोलॉजी में एक जो मेजर डिफरेंस है वो ये है कि एंथ्रोपोलॉजी what they want to show that there is a different perspective to understand human species. एक तो मॉडर्न वे है, जैसे हम सोशियोलॉजी इमर्ज हुआ 19th सेंचुरी से, ठीक है. उससे पहले जो एंथ्रोपोलॉजी इमर्ज था, एंथ्रोपोलॉजी वाज सेइंग दैट हाउ पीपल हैव डिफरेंट कल्चर्स, वो भी डिफरेंट सोशल इकोनॉमी. अगर आज के टाइम में आप पॉलिटिकल स्ट्रक्चर सोचोगे तो इट इज अबाउट डेमोक्रेसी और किंग, मोनार्क एंड ऑल. But you go and see the tribal people. Tribal people is a reflection of primitive people. ऐसा लोग मानते हैं, ऐसा है. पहले हम ऐसे ही रहते थे when we were back. So still they existing. So all these different social institutions, what we are understanding, we're understanding, and we need to understand from this sociological manner. So first of all, whensoever we are understanding any institutions, any concept, we need to understand from a three major perspective of sociology. One is conflict, that is Marxist. Second is functional, which is given by Durkheim. And third is symbolic interactionist or interactionist, which is given by Weber. तो सोशियोलॉजी में यही समझ, हमें सिंपल, ज्यादा बेसिक कंसाइज वे में ये समझना है दैट हाउ दे आर डिफरेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस, हाउ दे आर डिफरेंट सोशल इंस्टीट्यूशन, और उनके डिफरेंट किस, how they are different from culture to culture and from society to society. Okay, I hope this is clear to all of you. Now,
Yes, ma'am.
please, you have 9 minutes. You write down in your own understanding what is social institution. Quickly, I'm waiting, and please write down.
Ma'am, how many words, ma'am?
Write down 50 to 60 words. क्योंकि अभी ज़्यादा time नहीं है. Write down at 58. Stop writing.
Okay. Ma'am, my one is 48 words now. Ma'am, you're mute, ma'am. Ma'am, actually, you're on mute, ma'am, so I didn't get it. What you said.
I'm saying that you have written social institution and sociology are the basic structures, are the basic parts of the society which create social structure. They are not the basic structure, they create social structure. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
So
ma'am.
these social institutions are organized around the preservation of basic societal values. It has goals and values. Okay. Very good, Shibu. This is the way you should introduce. Yes, Reza, you can see social institution are integral part of society. Very nice. And generally works according to laws by society. Very good. Restricts individuals. Perfect. So this is the way a social institution, the way Shibu has explained, can be the example. Okay. You need to understand,
Yes, ma'am.
from now onwards only. I think Shibu has been quite regular and sincere with her preparation, and it reflects the way she has given the answer, because I think this is the first time I've now started asking to define the institution. In the end, I keep 10 minutes. So when I'm asking that what is social institution, so first of all, the first fundamental point of answering it, you need to show its relevance. So first of all, you have to explain the relevance and then define it. Okay. So you can see it is a great model. It's a great way to answer any definition. And this is the way one should start your answer also. And it should be like in few words, you should explain the entire social institution the way she has done.
Yes, ma'am.
So this can be further be divided into micro and macro level. Should we come first? So I can suggest you, Shibu, that there is a structural problem, chronological things. So plays role in individual's life के बाद अगर आप ये line लिखते, this can be further divided into micro and macro level. वो अच्छा, वो better था, and then that constant as well, it gives opportunities, and then it generally works. So according to laws laid by society, फिर ये बाद में आता. So chronological का problem है that what line should come first. Okay, it will be improved.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
It will improve gradually. But इतना भी लिख रहे हो बहुत अच्छी बात है. Both of you, both. Reza, you also. Okay, guys. So take good care of yourself. We'll meet tomorrow.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.